Yesterday, I realized that I actually have P5P here. Found it on one of my shelves. And I have hydroxy B12 and zinc. So I'm going to take these today during the day, see how I feel. And yeah, I did take 3 Seroquel last night and 3 lithium, so 900 milligrams, and 50 plus half of a 25 of trazodone. And I'm feeling kind of groggy today. So I'm going to try this zinc P5P hydroxy B12 based on pyrrole disorder and also the DNA test results that I was looking over, and I might talk more about them later. I was just at the CBT for psychosis workshop and it was really good, and I thought to stop by my old place and get some mugwort. And I'm getting it because years ago when I was in California, before all this craziness started, somebody came up to me and gave me some mugwort and said, "Put this under your pillow, you'll have nice dreams." And then I did, and when I laid my head down that night, I felt like I was going through a time warp. It was literally like, and then I opened my eyes and I didn't go with it, though I laid down again. Same thing happened. Crazy movie theater type, watching a movie type time warp thing. And so then I took the mugwort and put it on the window ledge and not under my pillow. So I might try and complete that portal, see if I can go through some kind of crazy time warp tonight. I think I need it. And the day today was really good because it encouraged clinicians to engage people about psychosis instead of the current thinking in the mainstream model of not engaging it as to not encourage it or anything. But I'm going to go into engaging with it more so by doing the holotropic breath work, and I'm leaving for that tomorrow, and then I'll have a session on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday just to see if that kind of approach might help. And I really don't know if it will. I'm thinking that if it doesn't, then I might have to get used to this happening every 8.5 months, this psycho-spiritual rebirth, and perhaps plan accordingly or have my life designed so I can go through that, because now it seems like I've gotten to the point where I don't need to go to the hospital to get through it. So we'll see about that. And yeah, there's lots I think I want to talk about. Maybe I'll talk about, well, of course I'll talk about how these holotropic breathwork sessions go. Yeah, but I do need to go home and pack, and I could talk about some of the stuff from today, but I do think it's great. The only thing I wonder about is it seems to still negate the fact that there could be kind of a magical world. So part of the paradigm of mental health seems to be to convince people that there is no magical world, there are no special messages, life is mundane, mediocre, and then people should go about life living in those ways. When I think there's a new paradigm emerging, and then people convince us of how it's not true. Though my process has gotten kind of weird. I don't know how to explain it, but I think I'm going to go into it more so. I don't know what else to do. It's what I've been doing. Yeah. We'll see what happens. I have a bit of a kombucha obsession right now, so I stopped and got a kombucha as a bit of a treat and a reward for making it out all day to this workshop when I'm not feeling the greatest. Yesterday at the CBT and psychosis workshop, Ron Unger shared a story that was an interesting tidbit, at least for me. He was sharing somebody saying, "Oh, I have an implant in my brain," and then a worker being curious enough to ask, "Well, what makes you think that?" And then the person showed, I guess, an MRI scan or something that looked like there was something there with two little tubes, one on each end, and then they investigated and found out that was a pineal body. So I was looking into that a little bit, just looking at pictures online, and there's some people that have an enlarged pineal gland. And that's supposed to be sort of the spiritual center in the brain, and it produces DMT, apparently. So maybe people who are experiencing these states of consciousness have a larger pineal gland, who knows? So when I can eventually get to my stuff, I might try to look for my capsules, because I might be able to put that haritaki powder in there in order to cleanse the pineal gland without throwing up. So I might try that. I might get a little more creative with the things that I try, because I'm curious to find out. And I'm waiting to go into my business class today, and then after that I'm going to head to the ferry to go to the island, because tomorrow I'm going to try holotropic breathwork. And when I was falling asleep last night, I felt kind of scared. I could feel that state going on in the background, and the other day I was watching a couple bits of my videos along the way, and I found one where that bit of heart scariness started when I was in California. And it's interesting because I was describing that same thing where I'm falling asleep and I feel like I'm remote viewing, or I'm seeing all this different stuff from all over the place. So yeah, it's the same kind of thing that happens. And maybe it's something that doesn't have to be scary at all. So maybe by doing this holotropic breathwork, I'll learn more about that state and not be scared. So we'll see. And if this doesn't work, this holotropic breathwork, then I don't know what I'm going to do next. I might try to work out karma, or just live, or I really don't know. Or try Zoloft. There are different things to try. But another thing, I can't remember if I talked about this already, but I thought the CBT and psychosis thing was really good, but I also felt at the same time that, like, there is this world of magic and synchronicity. It's real. So usually with the CBT and psychosis, it seems like trying to convince us that those types of things aren't true, though they gave examples of more extreme versions, like aliens are going to land on the roof or something like that. But I think at some point in my dialogues with myself, I talked about how some of those are there's some other meaning to that, like fear. If somebody's feeling that much fear, they could be feeling the level of fear equivalent to if an alien was going to land on the roof. And they also mentioned in the group something about the imagination, which I've never thought about before, because I don't really have much of an imagination, but how the imagination gets messed up. I'm not sure. I have to look into it. My brain isn't really as sharp right now.